suggest your way to peace, pleasure, and prosperity. A suggestion is a statement. And even though, in a sense, to say I'm okay also says you're not okay, because both I am and I'm not are two sides of the same coin in that way. But there is a higher truth, an absolute truth, which, yes, that statement, I am good enough, or I'm okay, more than that, is an absolute statement, but that's not about your beliefs, it's not about your false ego, it's not about the name, it's not about your accomplishments, it's not about any of the roles you're playing, it's not any of that. It's about who you are authentically as the role player, as the actor or the actress. And that isn't that interesting, because we tend to then identify with the role that we're playing and believe that's who we are, and therefore take on that consciousness, that script of how those people are supposed to behave, what they're supposed to do in the grand big old movie deal, you know. So to be the authentic self is to know the difference between suggestions that are empowering to you and others, all others, including all animals, because they are our brothers and sisters as spirit souls. That's why our job, taking dominion in a sense, is to take care of the garden, the creatures, as they take care of us, you see. A lot of people don't get that. That's so far away from where they are now. They say, well, it's not possible. That's the divine. That's the absolute. That's the realm that is the paradise realm we are all seeking. But you can't seek it from where it doesn't exist. And so the suggestions that are being made so often to people, oh, you know, you're too fat. Oh, you're too thin. You're too old. You're too young. You're too brown. You're too black. You're too white. You're too yellow. You know, you're too this. You're too that. You know, you can't do this. You're not able. You don't deserve it. You go to hell. You got all these words that have come at us and statements are suggestions, and a hypnotic trance is made by suggestion, and the self then taking that by believing that the source of that is true and real and valid and it's a truth without question, goes into that one's calculation of this reality, who they think they are, what they need to do, their character, all of this thing. And when we step back and take command of our suggestions, when we do use a suggestion and affirmation, such one I've always liked is, I love you, God. And that, I'm not talking about outside, I'm not talking about a God of any religious dogma, this is the only and the all. Well, yeah, it's the only one, and that's also the many. You've got to have what, you know, when the feminine is missing in any kind of grand teaching, there's something wrong with the teaching, because there has to be the wholeness that manifests here as the wholeness that is the divine and beyond what we even obviously could perhaps imagine or maybe not. Maybe because we are each a minuscule aspect, part and parcel of the divine, but possessing all those divine qualities and drawing from the vast resource of that loving relationship, potential, power, presence, however you call that, and our being divine, eternal beings, then we use now to strengthen our own experience of who we are, and that comes through the knowledge that we're taking in, classes we're taking, books we're reading, because the teachers are there to share with you what they have realized, what they've come to know, And you decide if you want to learn that or you want to know that or that sort of thing. And then you always do your own research. So when you come to suggestions, everything that's blocking a person are the suggestions. Anything that's killing off this and that, anything that's destroying, anything that's causing suffering and pain, and we call death and disease and all of this, this is not natural. They say, oh, well, this is nature. No, not the divine nature. But when our concepts and our beliefs in reality become skewed, and what we accept as true and real and valid and agree with, not even knowing that these agreements that we're making on all these levels are the results of these suggestions that are constantly we're being bombarded with, until then we start to believe it's the truth and it's real and it's really happening, but it's simply a suggestion. It's a statement. It's a bunch of letters and words and sigils with meaning and just packed with energy, getting us to focus, say, on a particular concept, suggestion, thought, idea. And the thing is, I remember years ago when I first started studying metaphysics, put a guard up at the door of your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth. Don't let it, no. And as stuff comes, you must be selective as to what you allow to give you suggestions. And whether you take those on, and if you take those on, then that is your experience called life. And if you want the good life, that place of pleasure and happiness and love and enthusiasm and joy of being, you got to be there now. That's it. And the suggestions are only to be used to help you to treat yourself, your own dis-ease, and get you back to knowing the truth that always is and always will be.